Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel and an unboxing video this time. You will note a very recent video I did of an unboxing of Waterloo 1815 Fallen Eagles 2 by Hexasim. As a result of purchasing that game, have decided that I wanted the second printing of Rising Eagles by Hexasim. This is the Austerlitz 1805 battle. A bit of a Austerlitz theme going on here, but you'll notice from previous videos that Waterloo and Austerlitz are the two key battles of the Napoleonic Wars that I really enjoy and really like. So for me, seeing this, I hadn't played the original print version of Austerlitz, but seeing the second print and knowing that these games very quickly go out of print and are quite hard to get, for me it was a must-have. I gave in to temptation again, and we have as such bought Austerlitz. So wanted to share you again. The game design is again by Walter Vedjovsky. Sorry Walter if I've pronounced that incorrectly. The box is very similar to the other games in the series. Again, you can see on the back there just an overview of the game itself, the map, the main map, the counters, lovely counter art, and it's available in French or English. This is certainly the English version. So what do you get in the box? You get 4 lots of counter sheets, 2 back printed maps, double-sided paper maps. They're 84 by 60, so they're pretty big in their own right, but together give you a massive battlefield area. Too big for me to show you on camera today, but I'll certainly zoom in and give you a feel for what the map looks like. Full color playbook and rulebook, 18 playing cards, which are the tactical cards that add a little bit of spice to the game, and along with that you get your player aids and dice. Although I noticed, because these games are not shrink wrapped, I noticed my particular game did not come with any dice, but you know, that's not a problem. These are it's a D6 system. I've got plenty of D6s, so I'm not too concerned about that, but no dice in the box. You'll see down here complexity level is 4 to 5 out of 9, so sort of mid-range complexity, with a very high solitaire value of 7. So as well as wanting to play this with the guys, this may also be a game that I might get out myself and play certainly smaller elements of it when I've got a few hours to spare, or I can have a bit of a setup. But certainly my table up here in my crib as such, it will not be big enough to take on board all the map size. This would be definitely a dining table setup, and I would suggest you need a good bit of time to play this. However, that hasn't put me off. The box art is beautiful, as you can see there. Let's show you what you get. Okay, so as I said, you've got these lovely cards. I'm just going to get them out of the bag to show you those. Similar to what we had in the Waterloo version. They just give you an opportunity to add an extra dimension to the game. So nice bit of artwork, some nice options there. So they're very nice. Just put them to one side for the moment. We've got the series rules, October 22. So these are the same ones I got with the Waterloo game. Full colour. Lots of examples of play. Look quite heavy going when you first look at them, but I think they're not. Certainly, having looked at videos of other people playing these games, Matt White did some good YouTube videos on Ligny and Quatre Bras, and certainly looking at how he'd set up and played it, it looked relatively straightforward. I think it's a case of just getting it set up and and working your way through the rules, pushing a few counters around. But again, the rules themselves run to about 22 pages. Some of this is sort of optional extras, things that you may or may not want. Sorry, it's probably about 24 pages actually. So that's the rule book. You then get the scenario book for Austerlitz specifically. So you've got various scenarios in here. Scenario 1 is Davout Stand in the south, the Battle of Telnitz and Sokolnitz. Scenario 2, you got Bagration, Larn and Murat, the clash in the north. Scenario 3, Sue's Great Breakthrough and the Battle of the Guards. And then you got the full battle game, the Battle of the Three Emperors. So you've got plenty of options there. Again, we've got some explanation around the cards if you want to use the full variant. And then you've got some nice examples of play, again, just to sort of help you get your feel for what's going on. Designer's notes, which I always like. Player's notes, bit of tactical information, and bibliography again on there. Unit explanation, again, quite useful, just to understand that as well in terms of what they stand for, these different abbreviations. But overall, a nice publication. Right, so let's get the rest of the bits out here. These are the maps. I'll come to those in a moment. So we've got 2 of these. You'll see these are A4 size. These are for your hidden order allocations on the battlefield. So these are a reproduction of the larger map. And this is where some of the hidden fog of war elements of the game come into play. There's one for each side there. You've got a turn track, depending on the time of day in the battle, things that happen during that period. That's one-sided, so you could have that on the side of the table. You've got another one of these like maps with setups for various units, and you'll see the little black lines if I zoom in there. I believe that's the area that those units can set up within the scope of their deployment. So hopefully you can kind of get a feel for that. I really quite like that. I think that's quite nice. It gives the player a little bit of flexibility while sticking to a relatively historical deployment as well. And then you've got these really nice cards like you had in the Waterloo game that give you the all-bats really of the armies, who looked after what units. You've got the French there, you've got the Scenario 1 all-bat specifically here, so the initial setup with the initial units and then the reinforcements as they come in as well. Really like that. That particularly for me is very interesting because that's a particular battle that I am seriously thinking about putting something together on the Wargames table. That battle within a battle looks quite interesting, and I think those forces are quite buildable on a Wargames table, probably in 6mm, but something to think about going forward. We've got Scenario 2, again, initial setups and all the elements there, so again, really quite useful, nice to see. You've got Scenario 3, the Great Breakthrough, again, setup cards. As you can see, these are really nice, full colour, very easy to follow, so you shouldn't have no problems with that. There's lots of stuff in this box, as you can see, so that's good. Really nice, certainly to begin with. Unit identification chart, so you can kind of just get your head around what the different elements mean. The colours are really good on the counters, really stand out and pop, so you can identify units very easily based on their nationalities. I like that. And then you've got a terrain effects chart on the opposite as well, so that will be really helpful. there in play. You got melee tables. You got 2 of these, so 1 for each player. On the reverse of that, you've got the fire table again for each player. So that's really good. So there's lots of things you'll have out on the table aside to the maps, but it means hopefully you won't have to refer back to the rule book too much during the game. I'm not going to get these out because in my last video I showed you the quality of the counters from Hexasim for these games. What are really nice is they're rounded edges, so you don't need to clip these. And as you can see there, apologies for the reflection through the plastic cover, but you can see again the quality and clear, concise sort of read of the counters. And you've got at the back here some of the Russian ones there, just to show you those as well. But yeah, very nice. I'm going to get some counter trays for those. What I'm going to do now is just stop the video and get one of the maps out and show you some of those just to finish off. Okay, so this is just part of the large map. This is 1 page of the large map. I'm just going to zoom out slightly so you can see the size of this bad boy. That is 1/2 of the Austerlitz battlefield. You can see there some of the wonderful detail. It's really, really lovely. So you've got Telnitz, Sokolnitz. So this is the Golbach River going right across, stream going right across the battlefield. You can see sort of how the woods have been reproduced, and the higher grounds are in these sort of darker colours with the sort of hills or ridges. You've got the roads, you've got Kobelnitz up the top here, and then the Pratzen is just off table to the top end here. But that's one side of the main battle map. On the reverse, however, what we've got here is a zoomed in bigger version of scenario 2, which is the clash in the north. So you've got Santon here, and now you can see scenario 2 at the top, scenario 1 is on the bottom. So if I move that up so you can see scenario 1 a bit more, bigger hexes, much more focused in on the key battle for these villages. So this is scenario 1, and on scenario 2, the clash in the north, you've got the Santon and then Holowitz and the Golbach Heights and this area here. So again, a different focus for the scenarios are really only half of that one map. And again, if I just zoom out that with it folded in half, you can just see that that is a much more manageable scale for a game. So I really like that. You've got those 2 options. And again, I probably would put this under plexi purely just to protect the map, but it's a lovely map. If we take that one out of the equation and put that down for a moment, somewhere safe where it's not going to get damaged, and let's show you the second half of the map. Get that out. Bear with me, just want to make sure I get this out so you can see it in all its glory. So again, this is the second half of the main battlefield. So again, if I just zoom out so you can see the size, bearing in mind that's half, along with the other half, you can see what a big area you could be playing the main battle over. And the colours and the textures and the contours really pop. I'm probably standing about 2 foot above the map, and you can see how well they pop the details on the map. So it's a really beautiful map that comes with this game. But again, if you don't want to do the big game, you can focus that into the scenarios. We've looked at scenario 1 and 2, and on the reverse of this one we have scenario 3. So again, if I just zoom out, you'll see the top half here has got nothing on it. This is purely just for that scenario. Slightly bigger because you've got to have the whole map unraveled, whereas scenario 1 and 2 you could use half of the size of this map. So depending on table size and maybe the level of game you want to play, you've got 4 options there, which is really nice. And again, you can see some of the lovely detail on here. You got Cobblnitz here, you got the Pratt's village, and you know, it's really nicely produced, signposted, everything. You've got, again, the colours pop, you know, the contouring. I really like it. I think they're really nice. But hopefully that's giving you a really good overview of Austerlitz 1805 by Hexasim. It's the, as I say, the second print of this game. Not a change to the original. Obviously the rules have been updated slightly over the years. This is quite an old game now, but one which will remain on my shelf for many years to come, I'm sure, and one for you to perhaps put on your to buy list if you're keen on this period of history. Hope you've enjoyed this short unboxing video, and look forward to seeing you all again soon.